Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This is going to be the breakdown for the weekend contest, the Drew contest. Thanks again to Scotty for getting me the breakdown. Very, very helpful. So on the left side, you have potential solo points, right? Right side, we have potential Prizewall coins. So there's 6.3 million points in the tours. That's pretty straightforward. You can get what you get from the tours. If you have all the CSS, you can get 6.3 million points. The Feud Battleground event, there's 2.125 million. Faction event leaderboard up to 500,000. We'll take a look at that. You can probably, most of us figure like 100,000 or less, 200,000 or less. Portal free claims, 120,000. CSS up to 700,000. It's 140k each. They're kind of rough. The CSS. Let's see. Let's just go. Is it here under the tasks? Yeah. So King Kong Bundy, I still don't have unlocked. I'll have to look and see how far away I am from. Drew, obviously, I don't have. Austin, I don't have. Jacqueline, I do have, but she's really hard to get. And then there's Viscera. So I think, honestly, most people, the majority of people are not going to have CSS. So you can basically, for the most part, you can toss that out. So your total is 8.5 million plus faction leaderboard plus CSS plus battleground leaderboard. So final free milestones at the 8.2 million mark. And if we go in here, that's here, right? Decent stuff up to here for sure. Chance to get Drew from bag, shards, some prizes, etc. Prizewall coins, what have you, and whatnot. So that's the gold milestone, right? But the 8.5, that's if you have the tour CSS, right? That gets you to this 8.4 mark. So some of the bonus stuff you get, a lot of coin in 30 million coin, 1,000 TP, 40 million, 2,000, 3 more leaderboards, right? And then this one, leaderboards, medallions, 45 McCool shards in 4. So you pick up quite a few extra if you have the tour CSS. And then it just keeps going. More Michelle McCool shards there, more Bundy shards, right? So like these, I would say, and then of course 9.5 is the first set of Drew shards, right? If you can, these are relatively close to this chest. If you're somebody that gets to like the 8.54 million mark, right? Might be worth pushing here if you're after McCool, right? And the 5 extra Prizewall medallions, maybe, $20 spend gets you there or something. I don't know. You'll have to check yourself. But that's something that you see if those 5 medallions are kind of going to be worth it for you, kind of thing, right? So there's that. Yeah, let's look at the faction event and the faction leaderboard stuff in here. Actually, we'll go here since this is the battleground event. You don't need to get to 300 million or 250. There's nothing you need in here. This is just bonus extra stuff. Guaranteed 150 gem strap, which of course is nice, and then a bunch of shards, which is also nice. This is 100 armor strap. Okay, I'm not big on those. Some people are. Some more shards and tokens, but these two aren't really necessary. This one you kind of really want to hit. You got the plate case, the 2 chests of disappointment, right? But you get the 4 medallions here. So if you can't get to 200 million, you miss out on 4 medallions. Another plate case here. But the contest points is what we're looking for. They're easier to come by. The last one here is at 101 million. So I would say make sure you at least get here for your solo contest points. And then worst case scenario, if you can't get 200 million, you miss out on 4 of these, right? But look to go for 100.1 million, and you should be able to get yourself at least some tokens. If not, you'll miss out on 4 other at the 200 million. But if that's too much of a stretch, like this is a good cutoff point here, right? Let's take a look at that faction event. That's going to be this one right here. Pretty straightforward. Your faction hits it, you get the extra medallion, some extra bags with potential shards, etc., right? As for the leaderboard rewards on that, 6 to 10 is 200,000. Of course, 5, drops off drastically. First place gets this chest that has medallions and extra stuff. They're quite lucky. to get that stuff. The rewards drop off like super drastically though. It's kind of a bummer. All the way down here. So like maybe plan on like 100,000 ish from that. So you can add that to your total, right? If you have all the CSS, now you're at 8645. You're almost to that next 87. So then if you got like one CSS, you probably hit it, sort of thing. As for the Battlegrounds leaderboard, they're usually really not good unless you get first, right? Second is 200,000. I mean, like, bruh. Like, do you really want to play that much for this little bit of stuff? And the answer is a resounding no. So, you know, you can maybe add another, like, if you play a decent amount, another 15,000. So, like, I don't even, Flash Feud's ridiculous leaderboards. They're the worst. They're absolutely horrible, right? So I just throw that one away personally. That's up to you. But to me, that's not even kind of worth my time, right? So that brings us to the Prizewall. Let's check out the Prizewall. I think this is an interesting Prizewall. I would say it's good, really good, and then also really not good. It depends who you are. Like for me, I think this is a great Prizewall. But and then I think if you're like a really newer player, I think it's not that good. And I'll kind of show you what I mean, right? So I think by far the best value of the gears is the mommy gear at 70, right? Like it gives her MP. She's ridiculous with it. This gold gear, Ron Simmons doesn't even care about this gear, to be honest, right? Like you just need one gear for him to do like everything he needs to do. The second gear adds almost nothing to him in almost every situation, right? So it's just no. If you have the silver gear. If you don't have the silver gear though, then this gear becomes very, very important. Maxine gear solid. We have better showboats now than Maxine, like Mommy, McCool, Oscar. But if you don't have those, then this is pretty solid gear, right? The Penta gear, I don't think Penta's that great, so I'm not a fan of his gear. I think it's overpriced anyway. And the Drew gear is very good for Drew, but at 125, come on, man. Like I could land 2 gears I don't have for the price of that, including Mommy gear. So that's a hard sell for me and a hard pass. Come down here, and so like for my free-to-play, I actually just got Baron Corbin. This gear's somewhat interesting at 3 because it gives him 4 MP. And on a newer account where you have access to very few people with like MP gear, a gear like this could wow, words, could come in really handy. So I kind of like this a little bit for him, but not for a lot of counts. And then the Brutus Creed gear adds a ton of gem damage. I can't remember how much right off the top of my head, but it's a lot. And he does have some interesting kind of stun stuff you can do that this would help speed up. There's a lot better, like Boss Man's a lot better option, for example, right? And a lot of people have access to Boss Man now, so I'm not too big a fan of that gear. Gear chips I think are horribly priced. I wouldn't personally touch them with a 1,000-foot pole, but that's me. There is some gears in there some people like, and you know, it might be worth it to you. Keep that, you know, in mind. The Austin shards I think are so stupidly overpriced. He's more expensive than Howdy? Are you kidding me? Like, under no circumstance should you take Austin shards over Howdy if you don't have Howdy. I don't care if you're 2,000 away from Howdy. This dude will impact your account miles more than Austin ever will, right? So, unless this is the only thing you need, like, hard pass. Nikki shards are great price, and honestly this is a chance to pick up a lot of Howdy shards, although they're expensive, so maybe not, right? And we'll talk about how many medallions you get in a minute and then come back to this. This is just my initial kind of thoughts on the Prizewall, right? Jacqueline shards, that's a pretty good chunk at a pretty good price. So I like the pricing there quite a bit. Nikki shard's fantastic price. Nikki's really good at 14 for 100. You can get it twice. I really like those. Mommy is crazy good. 250 is a big chunk, but 34 is very expensive, right? So hard to get there. This is fantastic for those of you continuing to need DK Cena shards. you're probably getting closer and closer. This is a great opportunity to pick up another 160 for 18 total at 9 apiece. Love the pricing here. Decent Penta pricing if you're a Penta guy and want him. That's cool. More Yeet shards available. A lot of people getting closer to Jay Yeet Uso. He's amazing. I love him. He's one of my top 3 favorite strikers in the game, usually top 2 at this point. A lot of times number 1 for me. It just kind of depends on my mood. So 75 for 17 is okay. But if you're getting close, man, he's worth picking up. JBL, him and Dick Hicksina are my top 2 tricksters in the game. So love the JBL shards. Pretty solid pricing there. Hall of Fame Ron is super good too. With 1 gear, like these 2 are just like top notch, really. So also like the pricing here for Ron, quite a bit. Rex Regum shards showing up again. They're getting a lot more reasonably priced. So if you're close to him, he's a really solid showboat. Probably still make my top 5 showboats, to be honest. Solo's okay. He's not amazing, but he's not bad. He's pretty good, so I don't mind those. Devon can be really, really good, and he's been hard to get, so also don't mind those shards. Trish is really good, solid pricing on hers. Viscera, of course, is great, but you know, I don't know how close people are shard-wise to Viscera if they didn't straight out buy him, but 8 for 800 is great. Naya is super hard to get, 0 shard release, so these shards probably are very low on your want to get list because you're probably not close to getting her, right? OTC Roman, 24 for 110, it's whatever. He was not a shard release either, I don't think, really, other than like super expensive, so I don't think most people care about these. Head Shrinker or whatever. Goldberg, awesome coach, but he was a 0 shard release, so you're probably not close to him either, so the story continues. Cody, 8 for 150 if you still don't have him. He's a great powerhouse, so really good pricing here. Champ Sammy, not great, but if it recruits him, okay. Ilya's incredible. Love the Ilya, so 13 for 200 is great. So those are all real. The point I'm getting at here is how many of these shards did I say really good characters, decent pricing, good chunks, right? A lot of them. So there's a good chance you need somebody on here, so you're gonna be able to make some kind of progress for something. If you're probably a medium to high-end player, right? Now, if you're a lower end player, none of these shards do anything for you, right? Like, so like my free to play and people that have probably been playing like a year, unless you're big spenders, do any of these shards even do anything for you? I don't think so. Let me know in the comments. If you've been playing a year and you're a big spender, sure, some of them will do stuff, but if you're not so much. Straps, I hate the pricing on these for individual straps, and that's not going to change. I say that every time. It's still the same here. You're better off making progress on something else, right? So the random straps also don't like the pricing, and econ I despise. Using my tokens on Prizewalls for these, it's just leftovers. So yeah, that's kind of my initial thoughts, and I think honestly the best thing on the entire Prizewall to me, unless you can recruit somebody, but even then, mommy gear, pretty big game changer for someone that's really good. Lets you not use MP, steel cage, all that BS. But then you got the Howdy shards. I think these really stand out. If you're getting close to Howdy, pull the trigger, man. Get Howdy. He's account changing as far as what you can do with his coach. He's a really good fighter too. These are spec freaking tacular. Probably, I mean, for how good Cena is, this might be my favorite thing on the wall, price-wise, super cheap, and people gotta be starting to get close now. If you don't have them, you must be close. A lot of people, I would think. So, JBL too, and Ron Simmons, just a lot of good shard options, right, for a lot of different level accounts. So to me, it looks like a really nice wall, for those reasons, if you're in that range, right? So, but the important thing is, I think a lot of people probably are in that range. Like I said, if my free-to-play is not really excited about this one, it would have been nice to see like a 6-star somebody down here that's not really great for a cheap amount of tokens. Like, that would be my one feedback for Scopely on a prize wall like this. Very good, but give me like a 6-star of somebody like A tier, B tier, or A tier, C tier, B tier, whatever, right? Like, you know, like I think Tongaloa was a 6-star one recently. And you know, something like that would be fine. Like if there was just sitting here like a 6-star bronze Bull Nakano, for example. Like I think that would be great for smaller, newer accounts. So that would be my feedback to add there. Now, as far as the Prizewall coins you can expect, it really depends on you. So in the solo milestones that you can get free-ish, that's the 8.2 million. There's 3. And then the bonus milestones, there's 12. That's free-ish. That assumes getting to the 8.7, which we talked about. You would need all the tour CSS and then like all of your battleground, right? So kind of sketchy-ish or a little bit getting there. Depends on CSS and stuff. Might be free, might not be free. So more borderline on those 12. And let's just go back to this for you guys. So 8.7 has 5. So if you don't get there and you get 8.4, you miss out on 5 and that becomes 7. So now you're at like 10, right? And if you don't have all the CSS and then you can't get like the 8.4, you miss out on another 4. Now you're missing 9. And then the final 3 at 8.3, right? So then you're missing all 12. So just keep that in mind. Faction event, as we said, had 1. Feud Battleground, that's the 200 million mark to get the last set. There's 10 total. That gives you 26 free-ish, which assumes all tour points, maxing points in the Battleground event, which is 200 million, and a little extra between CSS leaderboard spending lightly to get 26. Without the spending lightly, you're going to take 5 off of that, and now you're looking at 21. So keep that in mind. And then here's milestone rewards. Like if you get to 8.1, this is a nice breakdown by Scott, really. 14 total Prizewall coins, 8.3, 17, 8.4, 21, 8.7. That's the potential for 26, right? You go one more to 9. You potential for 34, 9.5 gives you 44, and 10.4 gives you 64 total Prizewall coins. So that can help you like kind of figure out if you want something more expensive on the Prizewall. Let's say like the Rhea gear, right? It's 70. I want the Rhea gear. I know I need to get to 10.4 to get 64, so I have to make up 6 more. Besides getting to 10.4 in offers, bonus milestones on the portal for the spend event, things like that, right? It makes it easier to figure out. Plus, first day there's an offer where you get pulls and 3 medallions for, I think it's $25 for like 3 medallions and 10 or 7 pulls or something like that. Yeah, $25, 3 medallions, 7 pulls, and this is what I think that's one of the few ones. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments during Flash Feud where you get the better offer early in the contest. So if you're trying to figure out if you need those medallions or not, this can help, along with your bonus spend milestones on the portal, etc., and things like that. So all in all, I think it looks like a decent Flash Feud event. I think the Prizewall's pretty good. Like for me, I love this Prizewall. I like Drew a lot, and I really would like this gear for mommy. So probably going to push a little bit on this one personally. There's been nothing that was worth spending for me this month at all. Mommy's gear and Drew combined is. So I'll kind of play that by ear, see where we get. And even if I can't get there, there's JBL shards for me that I still need. I still need these shards, but I wouldn't buy them because they're stupidly priced. So I'd be all in on the JBL shards for me. Again, I think it's a pretty good Prizewall. Unlike maybe my free-to-play doesn't like it as much for sure, but I already gave that feedback. So let me know what you guys are interested in. Hopefully you find this breakdown helpful. And if you don't... hopefully explain the chart to you as well, like, right, how you can kind of figure out where you're going to be, right, and where you can be, and then you can decide, like, man, is it worth spending $20, $25 for me to get one more milestone, get to those 26, So for example, right, if your goal is JBL, 200 JBL shards, that recruits them. You need 28. So you would need to get to the 8.7 million milestone, which would probably require a little bit of light spending. And then you would be, what, 2 medallions short? That would be a time where you'd be like, okay, now it would make sense for me to buy that $25 offer. I get the 7 pulls, which will get me a little more milestones, 70,000 more solo points. But I for sure get those 3 medallions that I'm going to need to put me to that 26 mark, right? Also, then you're spending in the spend event, which, let me look at the bonus rewards. You can't see this, I'm just on the portal. Spending 20 bucks gets you an extra 25,000 points as well for the solo contest, right? Plus then, you know, maybe Flash Market, not maybe, Flash Market will have, I'm sure, assuming we have a Flash Market, have solo contest points. Probably won't have medallions because Flash Market almost always sucks these days. So I wouldn't count on that. But if they do have medallions, then it's a good Flash Market. But they haven't had it for months, so I can't imagine they will. It'll probably suck. So yeah, that's one where you'd be like, okay, I want the 2 sets of JBL shards, so I'm going to spend the $25, so I make up those 2 coins, and then if I'm really close to that 8.7, then I can spend a little bit more to get there. If that's something you know you're after, that would be a reason why you might buy those shards now, or those medallions now. I'm not telling you to do that, but before you spend, plan it out, right? If you're just after 75 yeet shards for 17, now it takes a lot of pressure off. You only need to get to 8.3 million, right? So use these milestones, and that's, keep in mind, you need to do the other stuff. That's assuming you do everything else. But then you can kind of figure out, like, okay, I want 18 DK Cena shards. There are 18 medallions for 160 DK Cena shards. I know I need to get to 8.4 million, or I get to 8.3 and then I have to buy the $25 offer, right, to get those 3 medallions. Although I think last day that you can usually buy like a medallion. I want to say 1 medallion is like 10 bucks and you don't get pulls though, but correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I want to say that's usually the case. Anyway, that's a good example of how to use these charts to plan out your spending, or if you want to spend, or if it's even worth it to push more. Let's say you want 20, and you notice a theme here, right? Most all of these, you need 1 or 2 medallions more. That I think is by design. 22 pentashards to get all 200 or medallions. What do you get at 8.4? 21. So you have to push higher or buy a medallion. JBL's 28. You have to push higher than 8.7 or buy a medallion pack, right? You notice a theme here. Ron Simmons, Hall of Fame, and Cena, you need the 18, so 8.3 isn't quite good enough. You have to push a little bit. So that's really good to know where you're going to be at. And also, if you want the 200 Rex Regum shards, there's another 28. You're going to have to buy a pack if you want all of them. So it's really good to know that most of them don't land right on the nose. A few exceptions, Devon, 21 for 3 sets. Okay, that gets you at the 21. But that's how to use the chart and plan your stuff out and know if it's worth spending early or waiting or that kind of thing. So yeah, hopefully you guys find this helpful. This has been a lot of me talking. It's 23 minutes in. Let me know what you think in the comments. I do think it's a good Prizewall for a lot of people. I do think there's a few people that'll probably be disappointed in it. But like for me, I love this Prizewall. There's a bunch of really good shards to go for. So I think overall, I think a lot of people will feel that way. But if I'm off base, let me know in the comments because that's always appreciated. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a great weekend. Good luck feuding, and I'll catch you in the next video. Also, like, subscribe, and share because it really helps me out, you know? Definitely do that.